When do we go? Hello, wrestling fans! I'm your host, the toast of the third coast, Professor Degree. With me, as always, Blade Daily. How you doing today, Blade?
I'm doing. Shut up! I gotta.
Can I tell the title? No. Can I tell the name of the show?
Fine.
This is Pro Wrestling Forever. This is my co-host, I Blade Daily. Blade, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Now, can you shut up?
Yeah.
Great. Because I want you guys to make sure that if you're not already, that you fucking go to the YouTube, that you're on our YouTube channel, and you fucking go and you smash that subscribe button. You smash that thumbs up button wherever the fuck you see it. Okay. You leave a comment, not just in the live chat. After we post it, you come back, you leave another comment. Okay. Because they're different things. They're not the same.
No.
And then you go find us on your favorite podcast network and you fucking subscribe to it there too. Then you leave us a 5-star review. And you know what you get? The satisfaction of knowing you did it.
Right. Hey, thanks for showing up. It's Tuesday. We're a day late and $1 short, but neither one of us had to take a 50% pay cut to get here.
That's today, right. Hey, because we don't make any money.
Today, our topic is factions, families, stables, teams, whatever you want to call it. Webster's Dictionary defines a stable as a group of wrestlers connected under a common theme, usually with a mouthpiece such as a manager or a valet, whereas a faction is usually a group of peers with similar gimmicks that have a mission statement, give or take. And it doesn't really matter because it's professional wrestling, so we can just make up whatever the fuck history we want, and you have to accept it. It's our show. Get your own buttons.
Basically, when I looked it up, the internet just told me, fuck you, nerd. Basically, a stable is manager-led or leader-driven, right? It's structured, semi-permanent. So, like, there's, the Four Horsemen, actually, the very first version of the Four Horsemen, considered the modern-day template for factions, was actually a stable.
Right, because of their manager and financial advisor, James J. Dillon.
Exactly. And the structure, Ric Flair's at the top. Then he always has that hot shot who's like the U.S. title guy. And then he's got a tag team,
Right.
Whereas a faction is more about a unified ideology or cause. Members aligned around maybe a mission, an invasion, or a power grab, something like that. Often more story-driven than structural. And can be temporary or explosive.
You did sound smart when you said that, Blade. Good job.
Well, I'm learning to read, and it's cool.
That's why I keep you around, little buddy.
Reading's good.
So the Four Horsemen, probably not the first stable, but as we've discussed in the past, look, the Beatles didn't invent rock and roll. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby didn't invent comic books, but they pretty much broke new ground, and everybody since then has imitated them. And the Horsemen are kind of the ones that everybody imitates, but they're not the first. Blade.
Not even close. Not even close. Thank you, Cadillac Margarita. So going back
but you're kind of like Mike Tenay.
Thanks. Thanks. I think that's a compliment.
Like Mike Tenay.
He has, Mike Tenay was good.
He does that like whiny, like kind of weird face when he gets super pissed. But I I learned more about Lucha from Mike Tenay than, at that point, anyone, you know what I mean?
I feel like the Mike Tenay loved the wrestling business more than the wrestling business loved
Absolutely.
Mike Tenay, and he was not treated very well
No.
at a lot of different junctures.
And that's why I treat you like shit, Blade.
Thanks,
So,
man.
first stable.
So first stable is pretty much impossible. Okay. What we can do is go back to the very early days of the territories, right? 30s, 40s, 50s. You have tag teams, right? You have managers who maybe manage multiple people, right? Multiple singles guys in a tag team, but they're not really running interference and doing all that stuff yet. Then in the 60s, you start to see a little more of that, a little more, right? Gary Hart goes from being a wrestler to being a manager.
Gary Hart was around in the 60s.
Dude, Gary Hart was wrestling in the 50s, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's old
I mean,
as
he
shit.
was old in the 80s. I guess I just didn't really put it all together.
Well, and he was hip as fuck. It was the other part of it. He's like, what it is. Anyway, he was cool as fuck. Gary Hart was cool. So he's starting to kind of put together some architecture there. Then the Grand Wizard in WWF, 1971, unfortunate name. He kind of starts developing the manager template of a stable where he's managing a bunch of guys. But in 74, this little known guy named Bobby the Brain Heenan,
Never heard of him.
in the AWA, forms the first incarnation of the Heenan family. And it was Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens, Crippler Ray Stevens, Bobby Duncombe Sr.
Damn.
And Blackjack
Lanza?
Yeah, Blackjack Lanza. Yeah.
You want to know a side note about the Grand Wizard, Blade?
He was Jewish.
Grand Wizard was a gay Jewish man, and he chose that name as a fuck you to the other person who was called the Grand Wizard.
Yes. Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Very cool. Very cool. Ernie Roth, R.I.P. baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, so around the mid 70s is when the modern manager stable starts. But if you really want to dig into like factions, like find the first faction, if it's a shared ideology, if chaos is an ideology, I think you go Kevin Sullivan's army in Florida with the satanic panic stuff. Yes. This is prior to the Horsemen, right?
Yeah.
Prior to the Horsemen. So
really, yeah, because he did have like kind of a whole magical team of deviants.
He did. He had Bob Roop.
Yeah.
Who shaved half his fucking head. You know, I mean,
Makan Singh or something like that.
Yeah, Makan Singh was Norman the Lunatic in Stampede, but
okay.
I hear you. I hear you. No, it's a wild stable. I mean, really, really wild. He has what was Nancy Sullivan's name? Angel.
Oh, Fallen Angel.
Fallen Angel. Yes, right. Fallen Angel. Bob Roop. Abudadeen. Yes, Abudadeen.
Right.
The Purple Haze, Mark Lewin was also, and he was from the deepest, darkest depths of the ocean, right?
Right.
It literally came out of the ocean. He summoned him.
So basically what you're saying is that your first stable was like the Satanic Panic scare of the 80s. Dungeons and Dragons, Kevin Sullivan. And then the fact that Bobby Heenan has pretty much been laying the template since the 70s, which is insane.
Yeah. Well, and he just takes that Heenan family concept and keeps building on it and then takes it to WWF when he goes there. Another guy who took a similar concept to WWF, they will call it the first family, but it's actually not the first family, is Jimmy Hart. So Jimmy Hart in Memphis, we're going to quickly do a little education here.
Look at this. This is
the
future we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. 2026.
Set up on the wrong thing. That's another thing that I will discuss and disparage later. But in Memphis, Jimmy Hart starts the first family because Jerry Lawler was his protege and they were both baby faces. And then Jerry gets hurt and Jimmy goes, well, I can't make money off him anymore, baby. So he goes and recruits an entire stable to destroy Jerry Lawler. Look at the amount of people this man had as a stable in like 5 years in Memphis. Norvell Austin, Ox Baker, King Kong Bundy, Dennis Condrey, Sabu the Wild Man, not that Sabu, Chick Donovan, Bobby Eaton, Wayne Ferris, Buddy Landell, Austin Idol, Masao Ito Kamala, Andy Kaufman.
I don't think that is the picture that I'm seeing on my screen, though.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing a thing that says members. Arn Anderson, Billy Kidman.
Oh, no.
Steve
Okay,
Carell.
hold on.
My eyes are
Hold on. I'll
Bryan
switch
Adams.
it. Shut up. I'll switch it. Just stop talking.
Jesus, you were for like
my embarrassment will subside if you stop talking.
On the planet for just a minute.
While
you're working on that, I'm going to point out something.
Yeah,
so,
please.
Heenan has a family, and they're a stable because he's the manager, but they have a purpose, which is usually for a faction, and the purpose is to take out Hulk Hogan. And what you're talking about here is that Jimmy Hart has a purpose, and the purpose is to take out.
Well, and it predates. It
so
predates
kind of like a faction.
Jimmy Hart is kind of like a faction, and if you watch early Memphis, these guys are running interference for each other constantly. I mean, just running in, assaulting people just randomly, and people are coming in and out constantly.
Coco Ware,
yep. Lanny Poffo,
Randy Savage,
Jim Neidhart, Iron Sheik.
We're all learning something today.
Yeah.
These are
the original Bruise Brothers. Look at that. Pork chop.
Under normal circumstances, they might not have been friends. They might not have been buddies, but they are united under the cause of destroying Jerry Lawler, which I think a lot of us are actually.
I was actually, in retrospect, they were the baby faces when you think about it.
Right?
They were trying to protect a lot of people out there. Randy Savage, Eddie Gilbert, Tommy Rich, a whole lot of people.
It's like it's like a Hall of Fame class, basically.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And all those people came in and out in like 4 or 5 years, you know? We asked in the chat who your greatest faction ever was and who is the weak link that killed one. So we'll read a few of those right now. Antoine in the chat. What's up, my friend? Good brother. Good to have you with us. Greatest faction ever. I will go with the faction that lasted the longest, barely over LIJ, which, wow. Antoine saying anything's over LIJ is crazy. The Bullet Club. Their impact is across so many promotions, wrestlers, careers, and look at the impact. Absolutely.
Yeah, at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's another, I mean, it's like a Horseman or, what have you, where it's just like all these top tier A-list stars. Oh, we got a little more.
And the person I think that is responsible for killing the Bullet Club, Gato. He should have never, ever put David Finlay as lead of the Bullet Club. I mean, true. It's hard to dispute that. He just didn't have the charisma to carry it. Look, it's a hard thing to follow Finn Balor or, Prince Devitt, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Jay White. That's a pretty fucking tall order.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's probably just time to shutter the doors anyway. I don't move on, but the Bullet Club is kind of hard to deny. I mean, in the old days, you'd always say the Horsemen, you'd always say the NWO later on, but the Bullet Club is kind of outshadowed all of that stuff. I mean, I remember going to Ring of Honor shows and 3/4 of the crowd were wearing fucking Bullet Club shirts. Even in the early days of AEW, even still you see Bullet Club t-shirts. It's just,
it lasted way longer than anybody could have ever dreamed that it would.
No.
Blurry Line says, like the Shield, really hard to beat in terms of how good their matches were as a group, combined with the fact that there was 0 dud members, all became multi-time world champions. You know what, Blurry Line? I agree. I think the Shield is one of the greatest of all time. They are a 3-man blaction, right? So
3 men make a stable or a faction? I mean, originally weren't they CM Punk's goons in the beginning?
They were originally CM Punk's goons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, initially it's kind of stable-esque and then turns into a faction.
What I would say, and John Moxley, you can thank him for giving them the gift of this, is they can't go back to it. So they can never restore it. So they can either try to do it with different people, which would suck. And every time they've kind of hinted at it or trying to do it again, they briefly reunited before Mox left.
Right.
And then one of them kept getting hurt. So none of them were together all at once. Right. And the gift is that we never got too much of the Shield. And I think that that's a big deal. I think that really ended up helping their legacy because it was these three guys who all became world heavyweight champions, just like Bleary said.
You didn't have a chance to get sick of them.
Right.
You know, you never got tired of them. They never replaced a member. They never, like, I mean, that's a perfect way to say it. It was so short that it's always going to be on this higher up pedestal. That's a good answer. Probably one I would have not given. So,
yep.
There's a good one from Skewered Universe.
Skewered Universe. Let's see.
Yeah, right. I knew about Bullet Club before I started watching New Japan. Exactly. You saw the t-shirts before you started. I knew what Bullet Club was long before I was like into New Japan. That's totally it. Stable is where horses are kept, and a faction. That is exactly right. And that's what we're here to talk about is math.
Yes. This is a podcast about math. Antoine, I want to pick LIJ or Los Ingobernables as my number 1B, and it's all Yota Tsuji's fault. Yeah, I mean, he did bring death to them. You know, what can you say?
Yeah.
The Hart Foundation, Scareglow picks the Hart Foundation. Canadian American War era is my all-time favorite faction. It might be mine too.
It's a favorite of the show. I mean, we've talked about it. Like if they could have kept going for longer, they could have been one of the all-time greats. Yeah. Like they're kind of forgotten quickly, but they could have been bigger than they were.
It's where the Attitude Era actually begins.
Yes. And I know it sounds weird to say Bret Hart could be on an even higher pedestal, but yeah, I mean, he could have, you know?
Yeah. Bleary Line 7, we got a couple of Gold Rush Trio fans in the house. Gold Dust Trio.
Right?
Yes. Going back to at the Strangler Lewis. Yeah. Let's see.
For the longest time, I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't see the Four Horsemen in their original incarnation. My version of the Horsemen was the one on the trading cards where you had Flair, Arn, I think Barry Windham and Sid, I think were the team at the time when I first started watching.
Yeah, me too.
So that, like, I look at Ole and I'm not necessarily really a big fan. I like Barry Windham in that group. I like Arn and Tully as a tag team personally. Like I guess it's the next incarnation maybe. Is Luger before Windham?
Yep. So
well, then it's the incarnation after that.
Well, so it's what it is an 85. You know, these guys have already been running in the same circle a lot anyway. And Arn Anderson cuts that infamous promo on Worldwide or whatever it was, where he says, what you're looking at here is the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Right. JJ Dillon had been managing, you know, this like kind of evil guy pastiche of people, you know, right. See him managing like just losers kind of who weren't all that great.
Dillon always feels like a poor man's Bobby Heenan to me in some ways. He's not the same character, but just the blonde hair, the suit and tie kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, and I don't think he's trying to be Bobby at all.
Oh, I don't think he is. I'm saying, like, as a kid, when I looked at him, it was like, well, who's this guy? He's not Heenan.
Yeah. And he... So, you know, they are the ones who unite around Ric Flair as their world champion. None of them are as important as Ric Flair. They say that in the interviews all the time. Mm-hmm. You never heard that before, right?
Right.
And the Four Horsemen set that template of there's the leader, which is the Flair guy, right? Then there's the secondary singles guy, which would be the Luger or the Wyndham or whoever, right? Tully, right?
Baby.
Because the Andersons were originally the tag team, and then Tully and Arn became the tag team, and Luger became the secondary guy when Ole got kicked out.
And Tully, when you look at old Tully interviews from, I guess, pre-Horseman era, I get it. Like when they talk about that whole similar gimmick thing, he is kind of like a brown-haired Ric Flair from a few states over.
Right.
That kind of hotshot pretty boy thing was going on, you know. I'm the best at what I do kind of a thing. So it all made sense and they did fit together really well. Ole never really quite made sense to me, but the Andersons were the Andersons, so I get it, you know.
Well, and Ole was running down, you know, the clock to the end of his career. Right. And that it was a good place for him to land because he didn't have to work as hard. And, you know, he could be a guy who interfered and was just vicious, you know, more than, but he was moving into the backstage role more.
And I think that's a lot of what a faction does is you look at a lot of look. Take the Death Riders for example. I don't know where Claudio would be without the Death Riders. He would be a mid card dude having awesome matches. But in the Death Riders, he has a purpose, right? He's got somewhere to go. And then you take, say, Daniel Garcia, or maybe Marina Shafir would be even more so. This is an up and comer. You know what I mean? Wheeler Yuta's an up and comer. Pac is a guy that's already there. But again, he can get lost in the shuffle very easily too.
Right. Well, and he did quite frequently for a long time. He's would get just lost.
Just a dude that has the best match on the show every night, but somehow that gets lost in the shuffle.
Right.
So putting these people together in a unit gives them something to do and allows them to, you know, they can avoid having shitty gimmicks or just being jobbers or whatever. You know, there's more to a unit than just the storyline, I guess.
100%. Well, and like with the Death Riders, it's an ideology, right? They're here to toughen everybody up and kind of show them that, hey, this isn't just, you know, and now we have this fascinating thing going on with the Death Riders and the United Empire and the Dogs and how all of their stories are going to collide, and the Don Callis family, because you've got Andrade in the United Empire.
And that's another beautiful thing about factions, and we'll get to this towards the end of the episode, but
yes,
it just gives you a million different matchups. You know what I mean?
Antoine asked, does 3 make a faction? Yes, it does.
I think so.
It does. It's the smallest a faction can be, but it is a faction.
Right. Because if there's one less, it's a tag team. But there you go. The New Day should be on that list. Fuck yes, dude.
Yes, they should. They are one of the greatest factions of all time. I will give you that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very entertaining. Super over with the fans. A gimmick that shouldn't have gotten over, and they did their own thing. Really well, you know,
and a gimmick that Vince McMahon tried to turn into a gospel church gimmick immediately. Right. It's like, dude. And
they're just like, no, we're just gonna do this pancake thing or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Pippin in the chat says Dark Order is in the running for my favorite. Very cool. Very cool.
Dark Order has that pandemic era thing where I will always love Dark Order for that time period when they were kind of a weird faction. I liked the original Dark Order with all those weird guys in the masks that would just appear out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I liked when they made the little throne of dudes that Uno would sit on. Yeah.
But then, like, over the pandemic era, they became, and of course, after the Brody Lee business, they kind of became the mascots of AEW. And they just, you know, it wasn't going to last forever. But, like, that whole thing with Hangman the first time around, and they were just this lovable bunch of weirdos. I like Dark Order.
Well, and even so, it's like lovable bunch of weirdo losers too. They don't win all that much, and they definitely don't win big matches.
What if we put 7 Mankinds on a team?
Very true, very true. But
the other half are Brad Armstrong, you know?
And they have a massive fan base. I mean, people love the Dark Order. I see people say the Dark Order should be pushed more, and honestly, I don't agree. I think so they're great where they're at. I think they're great.
Yeah, no, I don't think they need a big push.
Blurry Line clearly doing some research here says Shield members average 7 Worlds titles each. And when the faction started with only Seth having been ROH champion, that faction has WWE World Universal titles, ROH, IWGP, and AEW World titles too. Hard to argue.
Yeah, dude. Statistics don't lie, man.
Numerically, it's very hard to argue with that one. I don't think even the NWO can compete with that.
No, Conan wasn't winning that many belts.
Nuclear Wesselzak showing that they are as big of a dork as we are. Where's the love for Devastation Incorporated for you noobs? Let's learn a little bit about Devastation Incorporated, shall we? Because they were in World Class, and that's Skandar Akbar's stable. And I am going to pull them up here.
See, we're living in the future, folks. This is what kind of technology we have now.
I've always wanted to do more of this kind of thing because
hold on. What if do it like this? Ready?
No.
Oh, but tell me. Give me like a wink so I know you're ready, and then I'll snap.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Are you ready?
Just fuck off. Let's see. So
you're gonna do it.
Skandar Akbar.
So Skandar Akbar managed. I don't know much about Devastation Incorporated, actually.
So you were just going to try and take the wheel on this without even knowing?
No, I wasn't. I'm not taking the wheel. That's why I was going to do like this little snap and that. See, look at that.
You did it, and it appeared. Like, I mean, don't tell me
the wheel.
There isn't like cosmic something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
something going on here.
Yeah.
What is Skandor Akbar's real name?
It is Jimmy Saeed Weba.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be like Jimmy Smith or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might as well have been. I mean, you heard the dude talk. He's just from a dude from Texas. From Wichita Falls, Texas.
Damn.
Okay. So I was hoping there would be an actual entry for Devastation Incorporated.
I was hoping that you would just be able to remember because that's kind of what I rely on you for
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of pressure and not very fair.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, you know, he basically managed all the top heels that came through fucking.
Is it like, that's like Bundy and stuff, right? Or no?
Yeah, he managed Bundy. Yes. He managed King Kong Bundy. He managed Kamala. He managed
the wheels here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this Wikipedia is just dog shit. Okay, hold on. Who were members of Devastation Incorporated?
This is what we bring to you, folks.
But just the same as there was great that New Day and the Shielder factions. Another faction that people never talk about as a faction is the Freebirds.
No, but
who were the number one heels of multiple territories many times over.
Mm-hmm. And actually had different incarnations because at one point Buddy Roberts leaves. Yeah. And you have, I mean, and Jimmy Garvin steps in then, right? Or does he step? Because at one point there's a trio of Hayes, Garvin, and Gordy.
Yeah.
But I always think of just the two versions, the original 3-man team and then the later on tag team, which sometimes had Fantasia or Bad Street in the group.
Yeah, I think this has a few. Dusty Rhodes was not a member of Devastation Incorporated.
You can't trust the internet for anything anymore.
Yeah, but he did it at times. You know, it's just like the touring heels who need managers would come through and be managed by Skandor Akbar. Mm-hmm. So Abdullah, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, Steve Austin, Cactus Jack. I know for sure was the Undertaker as the Punisher.
Oh, wow.
The Missing Link, a guy that doesn't get talked about enough. One Man Gang. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, that surprises me. Ted DiBiase.
An amazing group of people.
Yeah, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Dick Murdoch, Butch Reed, Nord the Barbarian, Al Perez, the Terminator, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Big Bubba Rogers, Ray Traylor. So, yeah, Skandor Akbar in the 80s was a very prolific manager in... my video slowed way down over here.
We're having technical difficulties here, folks. It's our second episode. There's a lot of bugs to be worked out. I can hear you just fine.
Does my video look weird to you?
It's slightly off, but it looks okay.
All right. I don't care. Okay,
I don't care either. I don't look at your side of the screen. I spend 2 hours looking into myself,
at yourself,
my own face, watching myself, practicing different expressions and things like that. You know? Ollie's role in the Horseman is to be a mean piece of shit, kind of like playing himself, but dialed down to about 60%. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Ollie, to me, never felt like a tough dude, but...
Oh, no, Ollie was a
I know he is,
dude.
but he just was
scary.
Like an old man by the time I saw him. Bleary Line, Freebirds, the only faction to be represented in Highlander. Thank you. The best fucking 5 minutes of professional wrestling that have ever been filmed in the history of time. That scene at the beginning of Highlander is so fucking cool.
Were Mankind, Taker, and Kane ever all managed by Paul Bearer at the same time? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know that Kane, maybe not even Kane, but I know Vader and Mankind were managed by Paul Bearer at the same time. I don't think
he was around at that point. I think they were.
I think that was pre-Kane.
Yeah,
the pre-Kane era.
So getting back to the timeline that I got away from a little while ago. The Four Horsemen were kind of the preeminent stable for a long time. That was kind of the standard and the template. And then in the early 90s, the greatest faction of all time, which was kind of like a stable because they did come together around a manager, was the Dangerous Alliance.
Yes.
Consisted of Ravishing Rick Rude, Medusa Maselli, Stone Cold Stunning Steve Austin, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Arn Anderson. And then like Larry Zbyszko or something.
Larry Zbyszko, baby.
All of them. And Arn and Larry were the tag team. They were called the Enforcers. They were super cool. Bobby Eaton, I guess, probably was your pin eater. And then you had 2 anchors, which is really interesting because they didn't have the world champion. They had 2 guys, your television champ and your United States champ. And they had Medusa, which is kind of rare at that point to be like an ass kicker that was a lady. That like you just really see that.
She was also not really a wrestler. She was the director of covert operations.
No shit.
Which
is a ninja.
Yeah, she's basically a ninja. Yeah.
Yeah.
But check this out. So bear with me one sec here. Stop screen. Last time I'm doing a screen share because that's slowing us down when I do it.
Sorry.
Fuck you, man. It's your fault. It's literally your fault.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
I don't know. I thought you were sharing something.
I thought I was too.
There we go. Look at those motherfuckers. That's exactly the image that I had in my head too. Why is Bobby Eaton taking a shit in this picture?
Well, that's a good question, Degree. Other question, other fact, Paulie Dangerously is like 24 in this picture. Like he looks like your great uncle, but he is 24 years old. Like he is a very young man. Arn Anderson. Look at that group. So number one, Rick Rude should have been a world champion, period.
Yeah. I mean, I think if not for his back injury, he probably would have been, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think he was on technically he's the international champion or whatever.
Yeah, but that was not a world title at that point. That was just a bullshit title. Then you got Larry and Arn as the enforcers, right? Mm-hmm. And then Bobby and Arn do the tag team thing. Mm-hmm. And then you got Steve Austin as he's your up and coming stud. Like he's your guy that's on his way to the top. Exactly. He's your Luger-esque profile guy. So like these guys did the modern template thing, but in my opinion, they could have been the greatest faction of all time. If
they would have kept going. If
Paul Dangerously doesn't leave and file amid charges of anti-Semitism against Bill Watts, and Rick Rude doesn't get permanently injured and has to retire.
Did you ever see that 4 Horsemen shirt?
No.
The one that's like 4 horses and it totally looks like a swastika.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
no.
I wonder why you got all these charges of anti-Semitism. Holy shit.
I never saw that. Thank God.
Yeah, I'll find a picture of it. It's pretty. It's like really nobody looked at that shirt and said, "Hey, this looks like an obvious swastika." Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so Blairy, don't worry. We're getting to the worst factions as well. We will be talking. There's so many. So many.
And they're all in TNA. They're the history of TNA, but we haven't even gotten past the Dangerous Alliance yet. So yeah, I think the Dangerous Alliance. I mean, yeah, they're following the template, but they are doing. I want to call them the Balding Alliance, but I won't do that.
Look how many of them are balding, though. I mean, seriously, Heyman's balding.
Yeah,
Heyman's balding. Arn is balding.
Mm-hmm.
Austin is balding.
Yeah, Austin was balding then. Larry was just like
Larry was normal thinning. He was just thinning. Yeah. And then Bobby Eaton had a full head of hair.
Yeah. Well, he's beautiful Bobby Eaton.
He's beautiful. I mean, it's not a misleading name in any way. Yes, Skewered Universe with the most important question: is Arn's acorn considered a separate dangerous allegiance member? Allegiance.
Yeah. That's close enough. He was typing fast.
Close. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, and I like it. Dangerous Allegiance. That's
I actually kind of like that better, to be honest.
That'll be the name of my faction that I start.
Sweet.
And our mission will be to destroy you.
Me.
Yeah.
Well, great, because that makes me either Jerry Lawler or Hulk Hogan. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, definitely more Lawler-esque with that mustache. Rick Rude was never a world champion. Shameful. Yes, it is. It is shameful.
Really.
Yes, very shameful. Did Heyman ever have a full head of hair? No. If you see him in the late 80s in WCW/NWA, he's got the Michael Keaton. I mean, his name was borrowed from the movie Johnny Dangerously that had Michael Keaton in it, because he had basically the same hairstyle.
Yeah. It's the cell phone use that caused him to go bald.
Yeah. There was no regulations back then, you see.
Exactly. And that's what ended up causing him to lose all of his hair.
Yeah. Well, if he had been in WWF, he could have talked with Cy Sperling, who was the Hair Club for Men. That was a faction unto itself, of one of Cy Sperling. He was not just the owner, he's a client.
Right.
And all right. So bullshit continues. Also, I came across this quote, which I liked. All stables are factions, but not all factions are stables, because some groups are about structure and others are about disruption.
That is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like that.
Yep.
So what's after the Dangerous Alliance, really?
Well, so after the Dangerous Alliance, there's kind of a gap. There isn't really
are just Arn and Flair, I remember at one point.
Yeah, and Barry kind of goes in his own direction. Right. Then Flair leaves.
Yeah.
Flair leaves, and Arn's just kind of he's in the Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah. Because Flair and Arn are feuding with the Hollywood Blondes at some point.
Yes, and that's when they are endowed with possibly the greatest horseman of them all. Oh, and that would be Pretty Paul Roma.
Exactly. I mean, who else could there be?
Yep.
That might be the moment where the horseman jumped the shark.
That's absolutely the moment where the horseman jumped the shark. There is no question. Mongo McMichael was a more credible member of that faction than Paul Roma.
Well, and it's weird because Paul Roma is totally one of those guys that's, I mean, I couldn't tell you if Paul Roma was a good wrestler or not. I have no idea. I haven't watched.
No, he was solid. He was a good athlete too.
So he's a perfect example of one of those guys that, he shouldn't have been a horseman because the horsemen are the elite, but stables are a good place for a guy who's a good hand. That's what they're for. They're for good hands. He is a perfect example of a dude that had his name tarnished on a nationwide level in a larger company and then went back to a smaller company and just never fucking recovered. Because that's a lot of WWE guys in the 80s, you know?
If you hear Paul tell some stories, one, you see why he never made it, because he sounds like he was really hard to work with and that he really liked, that he wanted to kick everybody's ass for real. And
it's like Bob Holly.
He tells a story about Jim Powers being hit on by Terry Garvin, somebody like that in the WWF, and brushing him off and then going and complaining to the office about it. And Paul Roma goes, "What are you doing? You just destroyed our push." And if you recall,
I have heard that story.
The Young Stallions were like this tag team on the rise in like 87.
Right. They were Young Stallions.
The Young Stallions. And they finish the first ever big tag team elimination Survivor Series match. They're one of the sole survivors. And then they immediately become jobbers.
Yeah.
You know, and
Jim Powers was literally just at least Roma had some
Roma ends up with Hercules at some point, and Power and Glory ends up being a good tag team. Yeah. But he was a good athlete. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was not good enough for the Horsemen. I think what it was they had been hinting that Tully Blanchard was coming back for a long time. And it was going to be, I think it was going to be Flair, Tully, Arn, and Wyndham again. And
that would have been
Tully at the last minute, they tried to lowball Tully and he said, "Fuck you." And then they scrambled and go, Paul Roma. So I think that was part of it.
That's not the guy.
Antoine says, "How do you feel about, since we say 3 members count, the triple threat?" Good. I like the triple threat.
Yeah, I like the triple threat. Are fucking cool.
Both incarnations of the triple threat. Okay, because triple threat is Shane Douglas, Malenko, and Benoit. Right. First incarnation. Second incarnation, Douglas, Candido, Bigelow.
So wow. So 2/3 of the triple threat became one half of the Horsemen.
Right.
down the
Oh,
road.
yeah, good point.
Pretty
And Shane Douglas
fucking
hates Ric
insane.
Flair to like. I'm right at that part in '94 where he just cannot shut the fuck up about Ric Flair.
About
Like,
Ric Flair, nonstop.
oh my God, he's just burying him. I mean, even he doesn't even have a mic. He's saying something about Ric Flair.
Oh,
Like,
he's actually managing a Target right now, complaining about he's stocking Ric Flair figures, going, the son of a bitch. He's still working. I could have been that. Imagine, yeah, wow, dude. And then your whole gimmick gets stolen by Triple H. So anyway,
that's great shit. That's great shit. And don't ever tell anybody I complimented Degree. But yeah, so Roma joins. So basically, stables are really kind of dead as a franchise. Stables exist, and then there is a faction that forms to eradicate Hulkamania once again. It's Satan for children. It's the Dungeon of Doom. And all the various people that at one point were members of the Dungeon of Doom is pretty impressive, honestly. Because
it would have been a very impressive list 10 years prior.
Yes. So Kamala. You also have Meng at one time. You have the Giant. Big Show. You also have, a lot of people forget this, Vader. His last thing that he really does in WCW was he's a member of the Dungeon of Doom. Cactus Jack was a member of the Dungeon of Doom.
What about, wasn't John Tenta in the Dungeon of Doom?
The Shark, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then was Zodiac in there or no?
Zodiac, that was his whole gimmick, was he was a member of the Dungeon of Doom after he had been the Butcher.
Right.
And main evented the worst and lowest buy rate Starrcade of all time against Hogan. Yeah, the Dungeon of Doom, one of the worst factions of all time. We are working on a Satan is for Children t-shirt right now. I was working on a design for it today. Degree, I will be sending it to you over the weekend or throughout the week or something.
Have you contacted?
We will have those for sale shortly. What's that?
Have you contacted Kevin Sullivan's estate for this?
Absolutely not. But let's see what the chat's saying here. I will say a tag team with a manager can't count either, despite there technically being 3 members. Midnight Express missing out. Totally.
Yeah, that's a tag team.
Yeah, I would say the Hollies were a faction.
There was 3 of them, right?
There was 3 of them. Yeah. I loved the Hollies.
I did too.
But the best Holly was Crash by far. Bob Holly is so fucking lucky that he got paired with Crash.
I liked Bob Holly because he was doing that super heavyweight thing before Crash. And we liked him. Like, I thought he was cool back then. I thought he was funny. But yeah, when they paired him with Crash, that took it to another level. And then Molly Holly getting thrown in there too was like, now, yeah, they're a faction now.
Nuclear Wessels X very accurately says Dungeon of Doom needs its own episode. True.
Of course.
True.
If only so I can go back and relive those things, because I wasn't watching WCW at that point because Hulk Hogan was on, and I don't like Hulk Hogan, and I don't like to watch things with Hulk Hogan. So I was not watching that era.
Professor Degree's least favorite wrestler of all time, Terry,
probably
the Hulk, Boulder, Balea, Hogan.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably is.
Well, I mean, we have a short out there where you say he is.
No, but I mean, I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks ever since, or 3 weeks, or however long ago we recorded that. And I really can't think of anybody that I dislike more than Hulk Hogan. Really don't care for him.
It's genuinely understandable.
I like that one promo he cuts where he talks about Trump Tower falling apart, and then you strap your arms on the biggest back in the world. I do like that.
Is that from '89?
Something like that. But it's just like, let me tell you something, Donald Trump. Like, that's pretty funny, but that was it. So.
Yeti Malone with the take, I'm going to respect. DX is overrated. Dangerous Alliance is underrated. Yeah. And we got some hot takes about best and worst that we'll get to at the end. Everybody, you save your hatreds for the end, because we got a lot of time to spend on it. Okay. I know it's more modern and not everyone's cup of tea, but the Wyatt family, NXT cult version, not the family-friendly main roster version. Listen, I loved the Wyatts because I saw the potential of the Wyatts. But in order for it to work, Bray Wyatt needed to be full of shit, right? Like, he needed to be, what I wanted him to be was like a liar and a manipulator and a deceiver of the highest order. That's how I thought he could be utilized best. And instead, they ended up turning him into this fucking, cosmic
Right.
Undertaker guy. And it was like, God, guys, no, what are you doing?
And he could have presented himself that way, but been a liar and a charlatan underneath it all. And that could have, the original like Cape Fear kind of thing that they had going.
The Waylon Mercy thing.
Yes, with the torch and all that. That was cool. And like,
it was cool as shit.
I never really saw it like you're saying, it just didn't get the potential. I think you could take all those guys because they all just got cut, right? I think you could take them, I don't know who's in the group, so I really don't know what their talent level is, but this is what I'm thinking. You could reinvent them as that, exactly what you're describing. We've never been supernatural. We've never been monsters. We're just messing with your head. And you could maybe like TNA could use something like that. You know what I mean? Major League Wrestling could use something like that, Yeah,
I think that's kind of where the right destination level that you're thinking of here.
Yeah, no, they're
like
not
a TNA.
Yeah.
Or they could team up with fucking Rosemary and Allie. By the way, did you see that Allie is in TNA again?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, so the bunny.
Yeah, have her
Allie again.
Team up with Rosemary.
Yeah, have them team up.
Always has a home for weird, kind of supernatural, spooky kind of people.
Yeah. So we get to 96. The faction thing isn't really happening anymore. It's more like, there's some stables. Jimmy Hart's managing the remnants of the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah.
And
what's going on in WWF at that point, even? I mean,
96.
Cornette maybe managing Yoko.
Yeah, you've got Camp Cornette. So you've got Camp Cornette, and that's, Davey Boy, Yokozuna, and Owen Hart.
Right.
And that's maybe the only faction at the time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Then something very small happened in World Championship Wrestling that no one has ever really talked about very much. Nobody's ever imitated 150,000 times.
And it definitely didn't change the modern wrestling industry forever.
No, not at all. No. So there's the New World Order.
Yeah, there's the NWO. I've heard of them. I had never seen any of their stuff. But for this episode, I did a little research. Apparently, Hogan was in it.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
So Scott Hall shows up. Kevin Nash shows up. And then Hogan's the third man. And the implication is that it's a WWF invasion. How long after that does Syxx join?
I think Syxx is towards the end of the year, like the end of 96.
He's the fourth man, right?
No, he's not. I think the Giant joins before he
Syxx?
does.
I wasn't watching at the time because I don't like Hulk Hogan, but go on.
I think Syxx joins before Bischoff. So technically, the way the way it works is so it would be Hall, Nash, Hogan, DiBiase. Then I think the Giant, then Syxx, then Bischoff.
Really? I always thought that Syxx was like 1 + 2 + 3 = 6. But maybe somebody just said that to me and that wasn't actually from a promo.
I could be wrong. I could be off on the timeline.
Wouldn't that be a great promo they could have cut? Anyway, WWF invades WCW and everything fucking changes. And it's no longer WCW. It's WCW versus NWO. And so then you have DiBiase, you have the Giant, you have Michael Wall Street or whatever.
Fuck, man, he was so great.
And then it just Buff Bagwell, Scott Norton, Conan, and then it splits into 2 NWOs maybe. And then
something like that.
Just my God.
You got Muta, Chono, then you have the NWO Japan, then you have Bischoff becomes so enamored of the NWO, he wants to replace WCW with the NWO.
Right.
As a brand. Head of security, Vincent. Thank you, Nuclear. What's all that?
Yeah.
Basically, if you had ever been in WWF, then you ended up in the NWO. Big Bubba Rogers was in the NWO.
Mm-hmm. Big Bubba, no trouble.
Big Bubba, no trouble, baby.
Buff Bagwell, son of a bitch.
Horace. Dude, that was a good run for Buff. Buff in the New
that
World
was.
Order is my favorite Buff.
Yeah, that's I did not like him at the time, but in retrospect, yeah, Buff was fun.
Oh man, I loved him. And when he would go like, "I'm Buff and I'm the stuff," like that was, it was so douchebaggy. It was just perfect for him.
Yeah.
It felt like you were seeing the real guy.
Yep.
You know,
it was
like,
it was just funny.
Like it or not, that's who he was.
Yeah.
And NWO should have been more than 6 members at a time. I mean, yes, I agree that there were a lot of like hiccups there because the guys had limited dates on their contracts. They just would go periods of time where they weren't on TV or whatever, and it would kind of mess things up, I think. But you know, for that first year, I would say from their founding in 96 all the way up to 97, even if there were bad times in between, that whole initial run where they get up to Starrcade 97 with Sting, excellent storytelling.
Absolutely.
Especially for the time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for its time.
If not for Sting and the fuck up at Starrcade 97, that it would go down like in history. I mean, it's going down in history anyway, but
it went down in history for the wrong reason.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then when they split up, I would put, I know people are fond of this shit, but dude, NWO Wolfpack, fucking dog shit.
That's terrible.
Okay? It was horrible.
It's absolutely fucking terrible. It's like the thing that the NWO is weird because factions and stables are traditionally bad guys, and you know they're technically bad guys, but they're getting cheered because they're cooler than the good guys. So it's this weird thing where it's like, you know, normally a guy, Randy Savage is a popular heel. Well, we got to turn him face because he's popular heel. You know, anybody, whatever, go down the list. CM Punk, you know, Swerve was bad guy. They turned him good. I mean, just cool bad guys you have to turn face at some point. And the NWO is like this weird opposite where it's like, hey, let's put Sting and Luger in the NWO.
That was the jump the shark. There's no going back moment for me.
No, that doesn't even make any sense.
So they branch off into 2 factions within the faction, right? So it's NWO Hollywood, you know, Hennig and Hogan and Hall, or the big 3 big H's of the NWO are in one group. But yeah, when Sting joined, I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid. All right. Like, this is fucking stupid. Sting's whole fucking thing was destroying the NWO. Yeah. So Sting is basically admitting that he fucking failed on every level and he just joins them instead.
And then paints his face like a tomato and looks absolutely stupid.
So stupid. And then he had the little beard thing going for a while. It was like, what's going on here?
Wisp. He still has that little
I know he does. Hey, old man Sting is the best.
Oh, dude. Wizard Sting is the best. Like, he's unbelievably cool. One
of the greatest things the wrestling industry has ever created, honestly,
is Old Man Sting.
Yeah,
dude, I fucking love Old Man Sting.
Nuclear Wessels X
what's that?
Points out that 6 was called 6 because he was the 6th member.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. 1, 2, like, oh, he's the 6th member. Oh, hey.
Yeah,
it's not what I was thinking in my head.
That's not
Remember
what you were
earlier
thinking
before we started recording, and you were like, I did a bunch of research so that I could make myself look smarter than you and make you look stupid. Remember when you said that? You didn't even have to do all that fucking research, dude. So Antoine says that he's on the opposite side, the Wolfpack. Why don't you put that quote up there?
Oh, because it contradicts what I was saying.
Exactly. The Wolfpack saved the NWO from being totally redundant. I was fine with them. Antoine, I have a great deal of respect for you, but you are wrong. I'm sorry. Now, the one thing I will give you is that the Wolfpack theme song at the time, because I just listened to it last week on my way home from work, does not hold up as well as I hoped it would. But man, I thought it was really cool. Wolfpack back causing mass destruction. Don't you know the bad boys of wrestling? And I swear to God, for years, I thought the next line was "Bet your bottom dollar," and then I don't know where they went from there. But I was like, really? Is that what they said? No, sorry, Antoine. We're gonna have to disagree.
It didn't work.
Not for me.
Didn't work. And didn't Savage jump from one to the other? Didn't Savage jump from Hollywood to the Wolfpack?
And Red and Black does. I mean, like, obviously the colors look really cool together.
Mm-hmm.
But no. So then the NWO goes on for a really long time. Oh,
It just keeps coming back. They can never let it go.
They do the silver thing for a while. One thing I will say that I always thought was really cool about DX was I liked the idea that they were just an offshoot, like literally, because it's the Click, you know what I mean? So like it's just the NWO taking over two companies, and you couldn't really obviously say that, but you could kind of wink wink.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool to me, like when I was in my 20s or whatever it was. I thought that was a neat idea. DX just turned into a bunch of stupid kids, frat boy kind of shit. Well, they didn't turn into that. They were always that. But
I think DX aged like shit.
Yeah.
And it was not as good as the NWO at any point ever.
It's all just frat boy shit.
And it's frat boy shit, and it's a pale imitation in a lot of ways, because aside from the tank thing, okay, the tank thing, that was a slam dunk. They really nailed that.
At the time, yeah.
They made WCW look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Nash and Hall and Hogan, what they did was so much bigger than anything DX ever did.
Absolutely. Well, and Nash and Hall are actually...
Larry Line says DX has managed to age poorly twice.
And Nash and Hall were actually legitimately like pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas Shawn and Hunter were not cool dudes. They were like guys trying to desperately convince you that they were cool, which is kind of what this podcast is. But yeah, they're not even close to the NWO.
God damn it, I keep clicking in a spot. It was not a tank, it was a Jeep. I mean, yes.
It was a tank.
It was kind of dressed up like it was a tank. DX had the most banger theme ever, though. It was good for its time.
Yeah.
For its time. It was.
And I like that they remade it as Adam Cole's theme music years later. But
yeah. Well, and then Hunter, when he goes solo, he has like kind of an offshoot of the DX music at first. That's way better.
My time. Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
So bad.
It's not good.
No.
It's just better than the Motorhead shit that he was coming out to later.
Like the Motorhead song? You don't like Time to Play the Game?
I don't know if you guys saw my post on Blue Sky or Threads earlier, but I said, hey, ChatGPT, can you make me a Motorhead cover band whose lead singer who plays at the pub on Thursdays, if their lead singer doesn't have to work late, as a wrestler with some mildly unhinged symbology? And it was just Triple H. Yeah.
Kind of nervous about his gear. Yeah. Fuck Triple H. I got
I despise
that. I got
no
purpose. Triple H. Yeah, I mean, we have glazed over the ministry, the corporate ministry, the corporation, the union, which of course was Mankind, Ken Shamrock, Test, right? Yep. And they all came out with and there's somebody, Ahmed Johnson, maybe? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Ahmed.
He would have been that
other faction from WWF that should be mentioned. That should be mentioned as a great one. It was the Nation. And I think
fuck yeah,
the Nation did not go as far as they should have. Farouk had a lot of juice as the leader of the Nation. Mm-hmm. And I get that they wanted to elevate The Rock. And I get that ultimately Farouk's job was to get The Rock over and to help him get there.
Worked really fucking well. Really.
But Farouk should have had a world title run.
I think so.
I think Attitude Era Farouk, 96, that guy could have held the belt. I mean, the title reigns were like fucking 5 minutes long back then. You know, he could have held the belt for a month.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, who's holding the belt? Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels, Sid, Undertaker.
You could have easily slotted Farouk in there and leveled him up just a little bit. And yeah, he already had the team built in. I will say, though, that shit with The Rock, like, well done. Like,
yes,
that worked really well.
Yeah, so we get these, faction warfare becomes kind of a thing. You end up with, you're the DX NWO Wolf Pack. Go ahead.
WWE's answer to I think at least to the NWO was all of their, as you said, the gang warfare shit. You had Los Boricuas, you had the Nazi biker guys, you had Vince McMahon's
on my list
of the worst. Of the race war.
Yeah.
Monday night.
Basically, Vince's answer to the faction warfare was a race war. That's basically what he was perpetuating. It was the nation versus the Los Boricuas versus the Nazi biker guys.
Yeah, the skinheads, who were literally Nazi skinheads.
Yeah, the Harris brothers were skinheads. Yeah.
And that stuff is just, I don't know what the purpose was, if he thought he was going to like dilute the idea of the NWO or what he thought he was doing, but it's not, none of it was good. I mean, it's just kind of, that's garbagey stuff.
Yeah. I just think that there was, so Antoine says, the nation could not have worked if Farouk did not lead it the way he did and ran it. It was absolutely a race war. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, the Nation of Domination is always going to have a place. It's one of my favorites. They represented to me as a black man strength and power. Farouk was the loser. He should have, then he would have been the only black wrestler to hold the WCW and WWEF titles. I think, honestly, Ron Simmons as Farouk showed me something that I had never seen in him before as Farouk, when he was giving these really great promos. I mean, they stand the test of time. If you go back and watch them now, they are really, really good promos.
He's passionate, and he didn't have that as the WCW champ. He was cool, but
I loved Ron Simmons and everything, but he just kind of won the world title out of nowhere. It was with no build. That's why he didn't really last very long as a world champion. And then he loses and disappears for a couple years. Right. He's in ECW. He's bouncing around the indies. He's in Japan.
Working at a Coca-Cola factory, I think.
Yeah, it's like weird.
He just went back to the civilian world.
Yeah. He's never. I wasn't watching wrestling during NWO, but the Wolfpack Red and Black was legit, and I liked them because they were opposing Hogan. LOL. So yes. So okay. So we all.
You know what? Listen, I'm 49, and I didn't like the Star Wars prequels when they came out, but I've come to learn that a lot of people grew up with them because we just come at things from different perspectives.
Listen to me. And green screen technology was brand new at the time, and George Lucas was not reined in by anybody at that time. His wife played a very key role in editing the originals.
She did.
And they were divorced when he made the prequels. All right. And you can tell. You can really, really tell. They were bad. They're not good movies. No. But I know people grew up with them.
And those
I want to be respectful.
And they love them.
People like bad movies. That's fine. That's fine. You don't know shit and you like bad movies. That's fine.
Where did that come out of the? Don't ever challenge us on this Wolfpack thing, all right?
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ. George Lucas cannot direct people. If you can make Natalie Portman look like she doesn't know how to act, then you've pretty successfully failed as a director.
We're gonna take the best actor in the world and make her look like complete garbage somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna make her look completely incompetent. Yes. So you get like tons of factions come out of this. Pippin in the chat. You have Mean Street Posse.
Holy shit. I forgot about those.
Actually, that's a guilty pleasure. I love Mean Street Posse.
Yeah, I do like the Mean Street Posse.
And then obviously the Hart Foundation is amazing.
And the Mean Street Posse are a good example of just like, sometimes you just need bad guys to fucking lose. They need to get humiliated. They're so irritating. You can't wait to watch them just get their asses beat. And that's totally what the Mean Street Posse was. And like, I was in my early 20s at the time. I hated people like that. I knew people like that. I'm not from Greenwich, obviously, but I'm just, you don't like those kind of people. You wanted them to get their asses beat.
Yeah. And then you have,
3MB. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of three. Was it 3 count that
that's what I was thinking of initially too. It was 3 count with Evan Courageous and shit, and Shane Helms and Shannon Moore. They were a boy band group. Also, I consider
Posse,
Pat Patterson and Briscoe like honorary members of the Mean Street Posse.
Sure.
Just because they were getting their ass kicked every week and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then TNA comes along and really recycles pretty much much as they're trying to say they're different than WWE, they're basically booked exactly the same. It's shock television. And I can't go super hard on all of these, but Immortal, Main
Who was
event
in
Mafia.
Immortal? I totally
Immortal,
forgot.
I think, was Flair's group, wasn't it?
It's AJ Styles with his
AJ
Flair
Styles
piece.
with Flair.
Okay, wow,
And
yeah.
that's where AJ's like young Flair
Mm-hmm.
or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the main event Mafia. You eventually get to Aces and Eights, which is an all-time shit show of a stable.
Yeah.
Um,
It just feels like TNA just took the NWO thing and just recycled it over and over and over. I don't recall there ever being a time. I know this isn't true. I don't recall a period in TNA where there isn't someone trying to take over a huge faction of people.
Can we talk about the best version of this?
I-
The band, huh?
Right.
The band, huh?
We're going to take one line from the Blues Brothers, which is 35 years old, and we're going to run it into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that time, Kevin Nash is being called Coach Nash or something
Right.
for some reason.
So I have a memory in my mind of Scott Hall wearing like an Elvis honky tonk man kind of suit. That happened, right?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
it's just, yeah. And at that, those, I mean, you want to talk about phoning it in, you know?
Yes.
Just not.
Blurry Line brings up a great one that I forgot about, the BWO, the Blue World Order. That was fun.
Great because you have like a satire of what's going on
currently.
Yeah, I mean that was a really good concept, and those guys are funny.
And they were literally coming out and cosplaying as the NWO, but they were also lip syncing to Kiss. It's like Scareglow, there are political lessons to learn from the prequels that I wish were paid better attention to, especially now. You know, Scareglow, I agree with you, but here's the thing. George Lucas made all of that so mind-numbing to follow that I think a lot of people missed that part.
It's the unfortunate thing. The prequels are amazing on paper and
they would have had to be like a 6-movie thing to really work.
The thing I do love about this is going to have to be a different podcast. I have learned to love the prequels because I do have an appreciation for like 1930s movie serials.
How do I get rid of
pulpy books and shit like that? But that's probably why I'm getting AARP letters in the mail. Anyway.
Yeah. There is a best version of TNA's factions, Millionaires Club. That was the absolute worst. I cannot believe they all got together for that group. The only blemish on Sting's career.
Is that the same thing as the main event Mafia, or is that different?
That's the main event Mafia.
Okay.
Millionaires Club was WCW. So Millionaires Club was when they did the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club, and they gambled that everybody would boo the established stars and cheer the young guys.
Right.
And instead, they booed the New Blood and cheered the Millionaires Club. And then your baby faces are guys called the Millionaires Club.
Right.
Good underdogs fight from underneath.
Yeah, the lessons to be learned from WCW are being seen in the current WWE product. But
yes. Oh yeah. No.
On.
So then, New Japan.
Yeah.
Enters the picture. In New Japan, the 2000s Inokiism period of New Japan is pretty bad. And they have something to be optimistic about. It's kind of like New Japan right now, where it's like, I will say quality-wise, New Japan is much better right now than New Japan at that time. But you have something to be hopeful about because you have the young talent like Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi, who definitely have something going, right? But Nakamura really throws New Japan on its ass when he turns heel and creates chaos. That is his group that he creates. And pretty soon, all of New Japan, you're in a faction if you're in New Japan. And that is very counter to any American.
That's when all the faction stuff started. This is all new for me. So I'm learning right now.
So it's like around 2010-ish.
Okay. What happened to Blade? Oh man. I hope he comes back, because if I'm stuck trying to give you a lesson about New Japan, it's not me. Listen, I don't have any of this history. No, he's coming back. Your fucking internet, not mine, yours.
Nakamura turns heel and yes, he turns heel, forms chaos, Toru Yano turns on Makabe, and they start running roughshod over New Japan. But the other thing to understand is that they have a working relationship with CMLL, and it's not uncommon for New Japan wrestlers to go spend a lot of time in Mexico. And the Stardust genius Tetsuya Naito, the man of Antoine's man, okay,
Right.
his goat, goes and spends time in CMLL because he was basically the Roman Reigns of New Japan, where he just wasn't getting over organically, and the crowd was turning on him, kind of like they're doing with Shota Umino, where they're just booing him and they want something else from him, and he goes over and spent some time in CMLL. Nakamura also came back from CMLL and became Rockstar Nakamura. But he brings what he discovers over there, Los Ingobernables. He brings a Japan version over, and they become a massive draw for New Japan as well. It seemed for a time like New Japan just could do nothing wrong.
Right.
I mean, Gato's run from like 2011-ish to like 2020 should be studied for a century to come. Like, it's almost perfect.
It's big enough that I was kind of on the outs of wrestling, and New Japan was the thing that really got me kind of interested again. The shit that was going on over there, I didn't know anything about it, and I still don't know anything about it, but there was so much buzz surrounding it, you couldn't not notice. You couldn't help but pay attention. Go on.
Yeah. And you have other factions like Suzuki-gun. You have and you have some people who aren't in factions as well. You have somebody like Tai Chi, who's just too much of a dick to be in anybody's. Well, no, he's in Suzuki-gun. So, but yeah, it was a wild time. And so basically everybody except like Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi and a few others is in a faction by that point, right? Bullet Club is gigantic. It's because it starts off almost as a parody of the NWO, and then it becomes the NWO in a way, because great question. Pippin asked, is there a faction that has more subgroups than Bullet Club? No, there is not.
Nobody has lasted as long. How long did Bullet Club actually last?
I think it started in 2010 and it lasted until 2025.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, for the most part, was always pretty hot.
Right.
I mean, I feel like in recent years it's not the same, but again,
the War Dogs were not the true successors of Bullet Club. I think Bullet Club died when Jay White left, really.
Sure.
Blurry Line 7, fair. We also got to remember it was Koja Magoon first. It was, and then it was taken over by Minoru Suzuki. So yeah, it really is a wild thing to kind of have factions controlling the entire promotion, and they're all angling for power and who controls the titles and stuff like that. And then AEW comes along and they create an American version of the same thing. Yeah. Where in early AEW particularly, everybody's in a faction. Like,
it was a tough thing. I've got friends who were out of wrestling, and they came back with the more recent boom, especially AEW, and it was very odd to them. And I mean, admittedly, when I first started watching it, it was odd seeing everybody's on a team. And I knew a little bit about New Japan, so it was easier for me to roll with it. But I know a lot of people kind of came in and they're just like, what's up with everyone being in a faction? And it's kind of just commonplace to me now. I don't think anything about it. I think it's just the next stage of where the kind of the evolution of wrestling, I guess. Like, this is where you are. It makes sense to have factions. It makes sense to have teams
and have backup and have people who have your back.
If nothing else, look, man, Bandito gets into some shit with Andrade, and Brody's his buddy, so Brody comes and backs him up. Well, Andrade's a member of the Don Callis family. Well, now you've got a whole feud going on. If you have two factions warring with each other, that's a million different matches that can all take place. If you're the top guy in a faction, you can say, you got to get through all 6 of these guys to get to me. It just kind of makes sense from it's almost like a plug and play, easy storytelling kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Well, and you would have factions with a ton of people in them. So like you had the Nightmare family had a bazillion people in it. What the fuck was QT Marshall's group called when they turned on Cody?
I just remember like there were like 2 or 3 women that had to shave their head to join the Nightmare family, and then it didn't go anywhere.
That was no. That was Brandy's group. That was so that was the Nightmare
family.
It wasn't the Nightmare family. That was Cody's group. So that's like where Cody had all his trainees and stuff. And Arn was a part of it. The Factory was QT Marshall.
The Factory, right? Because he ran the school or whatever.
The Nightmare Factory, right. And then it was the Nightmare Collective was Brandy's.
Right.
And they did it for like 3 or 4 weeks. That lady joins AEW, shaves her fucking head. And then
they had Awesome Kong too. And Awesome Kong's great, man.
Well, and Awesome Kong had to leave, you know, retire basically. And then Brandy decides she doesn't want to do it anymore. And in a BTE skit, she talks to a therapist and just gets over her issues.
Right.
And that was the end. It was like, what?
I mean,
every time Brandy got involved in anything, it just disappeared again.
Terrible. But at least they wrapped it up and it didn't just totally disappear. She did have that little, you know, that scene with the therapist or whatever. But yeah, everybody's in a faction.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Jericho's got the inner circle from the beginning.
The inner circle. Yep.
They're like your traditional. They have a tag team. They got a bruiser. They got like the young up and coming guy.
Sammy's the young and up and coming guy. Hager's he's just the muscle for Jericho. Right. And then you got Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah. So that was like a more traditional thing. But now with whether it's the conglomeration, if it's the Don Callis family, which has like 47 members, the Death Riders.
What I like about the Don Callis family having 47 members, and this is where it's really funny because people will say Don Callis family is the NWO of AEW, which is funny to say, but I think it's a little better because one, they're not all powerful like the NWO was. They're not always winning everything.
No, they're very rarely. They got like
it's a bunch of schmucks and like 3 top guys.
Yeah.
So like you have Andrade, Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita. Those are the main members of the group, and everybody else is kind of a schmuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, Brian Cage, you know, he's an impressive physical specimen. He's not doing anything solo. Lance Archer, good wrestler, not doing anything solo. None of these guys are really going to ever be the world champion. And they're not, they're just kind of meandering out in the mid card somewhere. At least they have kind of a purpose and kind of a, you know, a combined something to work for. What do we got here?
And when it's clear that like you're one of the top guys, everybody in the faction tries to help you, you know? So like Okada has the backup of everybody in the Callis family, and, you know?
And I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on any of those guys. I like all of those dudes. I like
you need schmucks. You need schmucks in wrestling. That's just the way it is.
The beauty of this is, I mean, again, the beauty of AEW, their schmucks are really fucking good in the ring. You know, I like watching their schmucks wrestle.
We're getting some schmuck back in the chat over here. Okay. Antoine says, it's why when people compare AEW to Connecticut, I go, no, this is more of a New Japan influence.
Absolutely.
It's wrestling, not sports entertainment. I like faction-based because it represents to me what regular people would do, which is have backup and friends. Totally.
Yeah, if you were in a business where you regularly got attacked when you went to catering, you'd probably make friends.
Yeah,
it's kind of like prison.
It's like prison, right? Yeah. It's run like a prison. Blurry Line says Jericho had Inner Circle, Jericho Appreciation Society, and Learning Tree 1 out of 3 success rate. I liked the Jericho Appreciation Society, to be honest. They lasted maybe a bit too long, but I think ultimately they were all right.
Yeah, the Learning Tree, I don't know what happened with that.
It was Jericho really reaching.
That was bad.
Skewer Universe, I wish the Pinnacle actually worked out. So do I, because I thought they would. And that it was MJF, as I understand it. He didn't want to be part of a faction.
Well, but you know what, though? I don't blame him because people make they make Flair comparisons all the time. And it's like, well, then why would you want to be in a stable with the Arn and Tully of today? You know what I mean? Like I could see wanting to distance himself from that kind of thing, you know?
See, now DCF is not a faction. That is a stable. Yeah. Well, if you remember my quote from earlier, every stable is also a faction, but not every faction is also a stable. So they, and basically And basically what the internet will tell you is it fucking doesn't matter. Everybody uses them interchangeably.
No.
Antoine
No.
clearly was a little irked at us calling Lance Archer a schmuck.
Oh, like I
did
said,
call him a schmuck. He's muscle.
Yeah. I like
he's muscle. He loses when he wrestles, and he's a muscle guy.
Yep. He always loses, and I always get excited to watch him wrestle because he always has a good match. Like
Lance Archer had the greatest backstage like action vignette of all time in AEW's early days when he was like throwing guys into the ceiling and shit. Do you remember that bit? It was
Didn't he used to carry guys into the ring or something?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Lance Archer's a good monster.
I remember when Justin Roberts would go and chasing his opponent to the ring.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he just didn't. Lance Archer was missing that little magical thing that gets you over, you know?
Yeah. And Lance is almost 50. I mean, he's, you know, and he's a big dude. Being a big dude, it is hard to last in the business. And Lance has been injured a lot in AEW, and that's not surprising, you know, like at his age. But here he is, he's still going, and I like when he shows up in his stupid sunglasses and he's sitting there like schmuck.
Yeah. Well, shit, I remember when he had that match with Mox for the US title, the IWGP title, and I think he beat him on
he beat him for the US title. Yeah, he beat him for the US title. Yeah, in a Texas Death Match. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, shit, guys, you know, he main evented pay-per-view, I think. I don't know, in the early days.
No, he didn't quite main event a pay-per-view, but he wrestled Cody on a pay-per-view.
Didn't he wrestle Mox? Oh, I'm thinking Brody Lee.
That was Brody, yeah. But Mox wrestled Lance right around that time as well. So Skewered Universe, DCF is 100% a stable. Yes, they work together, but they also have individual goals, and Don is there to help each of them achieve that to varying degrees of success. What I love about the DCF is their goals. They all have their own goals, but Don has his own goal, and that's the only goal he actually cares about, which is you're all fucking marks to make me money. And I will abandon you the minute you become inconvenient or you become in any way. And he calls himself a high-functioning sociopath over and over again. And he is. If you get injured, you're dead to him.
It doesn't
you don't
matter.
Even exist anymore.
He just moves on.
Yeah, he just hates. He hates you for getting hurt.
Yeah. The Don Callis family. This is great. Tony tried to make MJF Flair when he wanted to be Piper.
That's the
people make Flair comparisons all the time, and it's just kind of I don't know.
The Pinnacle had an amazing theme, which was it was a riff on the old Horseman music.
Oh, no shit. I wish the Firm, who was the Firm?
The Firm was Stokely's group that had like Big Bill and like a bunch of people in it that was going to take on MJF, but the Punk thing threw it into chaos. Wow.
That's like, it's kind of in the back of my head, but I don't
They were going to be, I think MJF was going to be part of the Firm. And then CM Punk got injured and then did Brawl Out, and that basically destroyed it. It was only a thing for like 6 weeks. When Mark Davis and Josh Alexander are your muscles, you have a pretty talented faction. Totally.
Exactly. Those are
Jake Doyle as well. Yeah. You know?
I
can't wait for Doyle and Davis to be a tag team again. Holy shit.
I was so excited for that team. They were super cool. And those two guys get excited every time they wrestle. I mean, everybody in the Don Callis family, it's an amazing group of heels.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Skewered Universe, when you hear Lance every now and then on commentary through Don's mic, it's great. Very much agreed. Always never. Lance just being the muscle is so cool. I used to love him throwing dudes around. Yeah. I used to love him running at the New Japan fans, and they wanted him to do it, but they would get terrified and run away. It was so fun.
We could do an entire episode on the Don Callis family.
We could. That's Alan Swan says that's one of the reasons I say he's not a schmuck. When he's in New Japan, he does commentary and he's fantastic. Agreed. I say schmuck as a benevolent, loving term. Okay, he's just he's there to lose.
He's a guy that loses every single week, and his job is to lose.
He's a guy who never wins.
He's a guy who never wins.
He always loses.
Is to lose and to make other people look really effing good when he loses, and he is good enough that even though you know he's going to lose every single week, whenever the guy who triumphs beats him, you go, God damn, that was a tough contest. Of course, you knew Lance Archer was not going to win.
Larry Line says the Firm was how the Devil MJF debuted. So
Yeah.
remember they had that ladder match, and
Kind of.
all these guys
Oh
came
yeah,
out,
and then the phone call.
and then
or
the
whatever.
Devil came out, and he's like, "I'm not going to show you who I am," and he reaches up and just takes the chip.
That's right.
That was the Firm was the ones
Firm,
holding
wow.
the ladder for him and all of that.
Man, I barely remember that when he starts winning. Yes. So, are we done talking about the Don Callis family yet?
We could potentially never finish talking about
because I
the Don
love
Callis family.
So-
Other another group that's run by factions that I can't talk about with any nuance is Stardom, is completely faction based.
Right.
But let's move on. Let's move on from more like historical perspective to like who are the greatest factions.
Before we do the greatest, I want to do one thing real quick because I want to talk about modern factions and it does fit in. Okay, the Four Horsemen are together. They say we're the greatest of all time, right? We're going to win the world title. Eventually, when Wyndham and Arn and Tully, they win all the belts, right? Barry gets the U.S. title. They get the tag titles. Okay, Don Callis family, we're a faction. We want the belts. We want the money. We want the riches. We want the international belt. We want the continental belt. We want the world title, the TNT title. All these factions, all these stables, all these groups get together and they want to get all the belts, but they leave one belt out every time. Why aren't there more women in stables? If you have 4 men's titles and 1 woman's title, or most of the time you have 2, whatever, you could have 4 men and 2 women to go for the women's belts. Because if you want to truly get your stable over and say we are the best and we want everything, you're like neglecting 50% of the population of the planet.
Yep. And
so
I think
that's all. And I think Marina Shafir is going to be somebody who does that for the Death Riders. Go on.
Well, and talking about, Medusa and the role she played in the Dangerous Alliance, that was unheard of at the time. It really was unheard of. You didn't have that kind of crossover. I think Sherry Martel is a very early precursor to all of that.
China, obviously, is where it comes to fruition.
Yeah, and I think China's where it really becomes a thing. And then I think, you see it now, like in AEW, you have a little bit of that, where like,
the conglomeration has it. I mean, you got Willow.
The conglomeration, Willow's technically in the conglomeration, right?
You have,
and then you have, and you also have, what's her name? Zeta Steel is in Sky
Oh, right.
Flight. Yeah.
Top Flight. And I have a special place for Top Flight in my heart.
Hey, I'm a fan. Good news. Yeah. Dante Martin got a haircut. And he looks like an adult man now. He doesn't look like some weirdo who got his fucking finger stuck in a light socket and like he's doing some Albert Einstein tribute thing.
I like Dante Martin.
I like Dante Martin too, but he looks like an adult man now. He looks
like a little boy.
It really works. I cannot express to you the difference it makes in his presentation.
Really? I haven't seen it yet.
He has a very short haircut now, and it looks great.
I
He's got a bit of a beard.
I got nothing but love for Top Flight, dude. I think those guys are cool as hell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why I was saying when Leo Rush went solo.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And they have mentioned crew as a still living thing. And that they're like, we're not sure how this happens to affect crew that Leo's this.
That's a cool, that's the Premier Athletes.
The Premier Athletes story. Denali is in the Premier Athletes. That's right.
Yeah, they are starting to do it. You are. That's true. You're seeing it more and more.
You're seeing a little bit of it. I would like to see more of it and have it be taken to a bigger level.
Well,
like
because
on the
right now you can pass them off and say, well, they're kind of like valets. So we need to see intergender wrestling, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Always never brought this up. Imagine if we get the trios titles with Marina holding the belt. I think the trios titles should be the intergender titles.
Lucha Underground had trios belts that were intergender. I mean,
I think
the whole show was, but I remember.
Yeah, the whole show was. Yeah,
it was,
totally. TNA, same thing. But like, I think that should happen. Like, I loved the trios matches where they had Willow and whoever versus the Death Riders. Those were fun matches. Watching Willow spear the shit out of Wheeler Yuta was a lot of fun. Blurry Line references one of the greatest endings to a show of all time. It was the Arcade Anarchy thing,
Right.
where it's Kip Sabian and Miro and Penelope
Yeah.
and versus, and that's where we saw the return of Stat as like an even bigger alien,
Right.
where
And
she
she
jumps
came out of the little pinball game or something.
yeah,
or the
she
claw
comes
machine.
out of the claw machine thing.
So is that technically because I mean the conglomeration I feel like grew out of best friends somehow.
It kind of did. It kind of did.
So
I mean,
is Trent's mom in that group? Is that a faction? Is more than just
Sue was a member of Chaos, technically. They
Really?
all were members of Chaos, because they had all been in Japan wrestling as part of Chaos for like a weekend or something.
Right, right.
And so because Beretta was in Chaos, something like that, I think. So Chuck Taylor and Statlander and Orange Cassidy and Sue were all made honorary members of Chaos.
Fantastic.
It is one of the greatest endings of a Dynamite ever, is when the Pixies are blasting and they're all up on the turnbuckles and like the weird art kids won the wrestling show.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest endings of all time ever. Canonically, the trios belt is mixed gender because Speedball is non-binary. Hey, there you go. I like it. Yes, Okada acknowledged Sue as a member. Yes. So, okay, now it's time to move.
Sorry. I waylaid you there.
No, you didn't. That was an important point, and I was not on my notes, so thank you. Greatest factions of all time. So I took some time to think this through. Not much time. I will surely leave out some good shit. But I just listed the top 5, 6 that I think are the greatest, and now we can debate. The Four Horsemen still belong in that conversation. The Heenan family, the WWF version, the AWA version, whatever version, like
it's Heenan. Yeah,
it's Heenan. It belongs there. The NWO, the Shield, Bullet Club, and the Elite. Those are like, when I think of the greatest factions, those are the ones I think of. And yes, I left out a lot of really good ones, but that's for you guys to fill in. Degree?
I mean, I don't disagree with any of those. I would put Dangerous Alliance in the place of the Shield just because I like them better. Are they more impactful? Absolutely not. I mean, if we're talking about impact on the business, the ones you listed are pretty much like the ripples in the pond that exploded and you're still feeling it today. I mean, I can't argue with any of those. Bleary Line says the Hart Foundation needs to be on that list.
They might be my personal favorite faction of all time, and I forgot to put them on the list.
And the thing that's cool about the Hart Foundation is you have the Hart family, which is Bret and all of his brothers, and then you have the Hart Foundation, which is Bret and all of his brothers-in-law, which is just like a weird...
That's weird.
You know, are the Von Erichs...
And Brian Pillman.
And Brian Pillman. Are the Von Erichs a faction? Brian Pillman's like the dude that they all brought weed from in the parking lot, in high school. The Von Erichs are a family because they are literally a family. They are brothers. And I would never consider them a faction, but they won titles together. They, had a mission to keep world-class championship wrestling clean and safe and everything. I wouldn't put them on my list of the greatest of all time, though. But that's just an interesting talking point. Go on.
Antoine says, no, I can't count the Elite. I know what they did in ROH and AEW, but the Elite don't exist without the Bullet Club, so I couldn't give them 2 spots. I think they're distinctly different things. I think that they're kind of their own culture within Bullet Club, and then they became a completely separate entity. So to me, they are different things. But I know what you're saying, Antoine. I
feel like the Elite, it's like, it is weird because it's like I do kind of feel like they probably would have existed without the Bullet Club, but then again, maybe not. Yeah, that's a good point.
Who's to say?
This is the episode where we just disagree with Antoine.
We'll have him on to say it to our face. He won't have any problem saying it to our face. No, he won't. But a good man who knows his wrestling, that's for damn sure. Yeti Malone says conglomeration because of Willow. Fair enough. I mean, that's all the reason you really need, right? I mean, just What do you like the best?
Well, it's like, they're actually like that. They're a faction in the sense that they all kind of come around one person who's the star, and that's Willow.
Answan says how the NWO ended and its real impact, I have to say, over the years has eroded my liking of them. They led to a company ending. I mean, in a way they did. You know, Eric Bischoff's inability to think of anything else.
Yeah. Well, once it turned into a thing where, like I said, you'd buy a video game and it didn't say WCW, it said WCW versus NWO. And it turned into like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing. G.I. Joe always fights Cobra. Yeah, that just it needed to have an ending, basically. And it just never fucking did. It just kept going. And yeah.
And the band and all these other fucking.
Well, that's the thing. If you're talking about favorite factions, I would not put the NWO on my list. I would put them on. I mean, they're on the list of the most important, the biggest.
Right.
But they're not. No, they're not really my favorite.
Blurry Line said, I kind of do agree where I have trouble thinking of Elite since BC offshoots like,
Bang,
yes,
Bang
like
Gang.
the dogs. Yeah. Bang Bang Gang. Antoine, do the Elite have to own every damn thing? You Elite lovers, like they're just perfect. Perfect. LOL.
I don't know, Antoine.
I get it. But I love the Elite. I don't know what I can say.
I do love the Elite.
They brought so many people to wrestling. I mean, at the end of the day, and it's like, it's weird because it's like almost not even through just their wrestling.
Well, no. And I mean, when I think it's the thing when, and I know that I've got this backwards, but this is just my perception, is when I think of Bullet Club, I think of the Elite. Like I think of that time period when they were in the Bullet Club as being kind of prime Bullet Club. Again, that's just my perception. I know I'm probably
I think it's
wrong.
the longest period of time though.
It's just, that's you know what I mean? Like that's the era I think of. So, I mean, yeah, I do kind of think of the Elite as being separate, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, a historian will prove me wrong.
After reading the Young Bucks book, I think the Elite would exist no matter what. Yeah, I mean, they are just, it's just kind of a magical friendship of Kenny and Matt and Nick. And
we're the four guys in wrestling that don't do drugs.
Yeah, right.
We're going to end up hanging out.
Plus Hangman.
Right?
Yeah. And Cody just, you know, aura farming from the Elite. I think it's called Coattail, Elite. Right? the Elite. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So let's move on to something that's a little better. It's a little more fun. Who are some of the fucking worst factions of all time? I got a few. I think you got to put Dungeon of Doom pretty high on the list. It's not hot in here.
I gotta think. I mean, I would have to put Aces and Eights at the all-time top. They're terrible.
Ace and Eights is way up there. Up there. They're definitely on the list.
Yeah, Corporate Ministry was just like I liked the Undertaker with the goatee and the Satan shit, and like I liked the cult stuff. That was just dumb putting that with the corporation. Spirit Squad. I kind of like the Spirit Squad.
I like the Spirit Squad, ironically, but it was not probably fun to sit through. I wasn't watching.
No, I wasn't watching. So yeah, it's easy for me to say that they're charming to me because I wasn't watching it.
I don't even remember who the welcoming committee is.
So, you know,
who is the welcoming committee? I don't even know who they are.
I don't even know.
I don't remember who Retribution is either.
Oh, who is Retribution? I don't know. Maybe I just know the name. I don't know. I guess I don't.
What about MIA? What about Misfits in Action?
Oh, dude,
fucking
Corporal Rection and like
General Rection.
Yeah, General Rection. Oh, Major Guns. Let's take a bunch of dudes who are varying levels of, because who else? Chavo, and who else was in that group? I feel like Van Hammer was in it, even though I don't think he was around at that point.
No, he wasn't. It was Chavo, it was Hugh Morris, and it was Lash LaRue and Major Guns.
LaRue.
And G.I. Bro.
Yes. So let's take people who are at various levels, you know, of the mid card, give them an army gimmick that we kind of feel like is ripping off DX, and they all have stupid joke names. No one is ever going to get over with a name Hugh G. Rection. You will never win a belt. You will never be a legend in the business.
Ironically, he won the U.S. title.
Did he really?
He did.
Fuck WCW. It was bullshit.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Retribution were the masked people. Like, it was like, it was Mustafa Ali's thing.
Okay,
and
yeah,
it was, what was her name? Mercedes, Martinez. Yes. Mercedes Martinez was in it. And she literally said, could you guys just release me instead of making me do this?
Wow.
Yeah. Props to her, you know? Yes. Retribution. T-Bar and Mace. Yes.
Oh, those are names like the Misfits in Action names. They're just terrible.
Guys.
Really terrible.
Evil's name is Nox. It's Nox Raijin is his name in NXT.
Is there like something I'm missing?
No.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Like, they were like, Chat GPT, can you give me, can you make the word Raijin sound Japanese?
Yeah,
right. Like Raijin. Yeah.
MIA is somehow more childish than DX, Scareglow.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. It's like,
because there's nothing clever or crafty about any of it.
No.
It's just stupid.
No.
What was the group that their name was Sex?
That was in TNA, I think.
Okay.
And it was, right?
Probably.
I feel like Bischoff was involved in that.
I mean, fuck. Yeah. There was the Pretty Mean Sisters that was fucking PMS.
Oh, yeah. But that was Jackie and Terry Reynolds and Meat, right?
And Meat, Sean Stasiak.
Yeah.
The son of former WWF champion Stan Stasiak.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's absolutely garbage.
Always Never says, I was watching then. I like the Spirit Squad because of their group move, lifting up and slamming dudes.
Yeah.
Like Dykstra's leg drop. And we are the Spirit Squad. Nikki
They
Nemeth.
went in. I mean, my memories of it is that they went whole hog. And that's like, if you're going to get anything over, you have to go whole hog. So even if it's bad, sometimes that's kind of cool, you know? It's wrestling.
Yeah. The Straight Edge Society, that was, again, outside of my watch time. I remember, I know that, what's her face? Serena Deeb shaved her head.
Yeah, and Luke Gallows was in the group.
Yeah.
And it was like CM Punk was like a cult member, kind of.
He was a cult leader.
Yeah. I don't think I hated that, but I was kind of in and out at that point. So I'm not really sure.
Retribution with Mustafa Ali could have worked. Yes.
Yeah,
I think most ideas in wrestling could work. It's just they don't a lot of times because the people who came up with the idea are idiots who don't know what they're doing. Vince McMahon, there's been, besides the fact that it's utterly disgusting, okay, to even suggest that Vince McMahon should come back to WWE in any form.
Yeah.
Anybody with nostalgia for Vince McMahon's booking is out of their fucking mind.
Well,
okay,
have you not been
if you think Vince McMahon personally wrote the Bloodline, he didn't. Okay, that was Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. Okay, like Vince had nothing to do with that, and Hunter inherited it, and both of them utterly suck without it. And it's really no wonder that the Bloodline seems to be coming back,
right,
to WWE, and they're going to ruin it.
I think this is Bloodline Silver. Right? I mean,
no, it's Bloodline 2000.
Oh,
thank you, Blurry Line. The welcoming committee were a women's faction of Natalia, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, and James Ellsworth. They existed to welcome Charlotte Flair to SmackDown, and it was fucking awful. Yes, now I remember. Thank you. That is fucking terrible.
I'm not really a fan of James Ellsworth.
No. If you were familiar with the speaking out movement.
I was going to say the real man and the gimmick thing.
Yeah, the chinless wonder. Yeah, fuck him. In lore, Luke Gallows is Festus, and Jesse had been drugging him to make him catatonic. Punk got him sober. Okay. Right. Okay. That makes sense. And that's a good way to get out of Festus, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember at the time thinking Luke Gallows was a decent wrestler. You know, good enough, at least.
Well, and guys... So I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, I was talking about Luke Gallows. Let me tell you something, Blade. From this episode forward, if I'm ever talking about Luke Gallows, you can interrupt me. It's fine.
And I should interrupt.
Please
you.
do.
The Scareglow, the oddities. Yes. There we go. So they go from being the Truth Commission,
right,
which is like a semi-apartheid.
And Don Callis is involved as the Jackal.
The Jackal,
right?
He's the Jackal. Mm-hmm. And yes, Don Callis is involved. I showed a friend of ours, Lil Stoned Hobbit. I showed her Don Callis from the 90s, and she was like, "What the fuck?" Like when
right?
With his luscious mane, like he's got the Bret Hart hair, like
totally.
But anyway, so it goes from before that, it's the Truth Commission, and before the Jackal is there, it's this old dude who sounds mildly South African. He looks like Colonel De Beers. I don't think it is Colonel De Beers, but they're like basically a pro-apartheid-esque group. Bull Buchanan's in it. Kurgan is in it.
Right.
And then the Attitude Era progresses and they go, you know what? Throw the Insane Clown Posse with these guys and call them the Oddities. Also, John Tenta's back. And he lost like 150 pounds. And
Luna.
And Luna Vachon. Yes.
I'm always a fan of Luna Vachon. A buddy of mine who's in the comments often, Kingpin, brought up the idea of he was fantasy booking. What if the Oddities would have had Raven as a manager and been treated as a serious group? And for a brief second, he did have me convinced that it actually could have been something cool.
Wow.
But
were you high or?
No, I'm just easily influenced. You talked me into doing a podcast with you.
That's true. That's true. You are easily influenced.
The Oddities did pretty much suck, but you needed a good guy team to get their asses beat, I guess. I don't know. I have like a fond spot for the Oddities, and I think
the portrayal of them kind of as semi special needs people was
I kind of looked at them as like circus, like sideshow people, which I guess is kind of the same thing, but I wasn't making fun of them.
no, but I mean, they were encouraging you.
The point. They were the bridge to Eugene. So yes, I mean, yeah.
So guys, a while back, I had made a list of possible names for evil that I just want to read real quick because I was very proud of it.
Well, you don't want to say that for our all evil episode?
No, there's not going to be one of those. Because fuck evil.
He's a rising star.
Well, his name now is Nox Rajin. So let's get used to that. So my suggestions were Scab, Twig Cornico, Jordan Quack, FaZe Mantle, Meander Goslick, Scorn, Dark Needle, which could have been a faction name, Trim Castron, Tom, Devin Despair, Brown Teapot, Grandel Weepledy, Stick Horn, Benny Brassballs Benoni, or Danhausen 2.
I like Tom the best.
Tom's not bad, right?
No, I think Tom, because it's one word like evil.
It's better than Nox Rajin.
Madonna, Cher, evil, Tom.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely could have worked.
Just all the iconic names in a row. But they could have gotten him confused with Tom from MySpace. So
that's fair.
Evil got Nox Rajin because Sammy Rai seemed too on the nose. Yes. Yes, Blurry Line, the Nexus, and the Corey. So there is a separate group that I had. The reason I didn't name the Dangerous Alliance was because it was the biggest misses, the factions that should have been huge. And I would put the Nexus in that. And I would also say the biggest one ever was the Dangerous Alliance.
The Nexus is a group that should have taken over. They were literally all the up and coming stars.
Well, and at one point they had every belt except the world title.
Right. And didn't John Cena beat them all in one night?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about the Nexus.
We're talking about the Dangerous Alliance. Well,
yeah. I went to Dangerous Alliance. Sorry. They come up, I get distracted.
No, I'm still looking at Bleary Line's comment because we didn't.
Well, because when you think about it, you had Wade Barrett, you had a whole bunch of people that were good wrestlers that ended up going nowhere. Yeah. You had Heath Slater.
Well, how were they going to go anywhere when they all got beat by one guy in one night? I mean,
right. That does John Cena get DDT'd on a cement floor,
right,
and then come back and beat two guys.
I can't fathom how anyone could have thought that was a good idea to have that happen. And I don't know that anybody in the Nexus would have been the next big thing or whatever, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, you cut their balls off before they even got into the ring, you know?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yep. Lucha House Party. I'm trying to remember. Lucha House Party was
they would do a somersault into the ring. Kalisto, Sin Cara, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like it would have been Sin Cara, Kalisto.
But like not the original, because the original Sin Cara was Mystico, right?
Yeah, he was gone by then.
Yeah.
Lucha House Party. That was Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lince Dorado. So, yes, I remember this now. Yes. Also, Grand Metalik, the guy who got a chance in AEW but didn't want to do any jobs. So, didn't last very long. Yeah, that's too bad.
Oh, Pippin, yes. Fucking Evolution. We totally forgot about Evolution. AKA the Four Horsemen 2.
Yes. And then Legacy was with Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody and Randy.
That's Evolution, right?
That's Legacy.
That's Legacy. Okay,
Legacy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which was also
I intentionally didn't mention Evolution because I think it's so overrated and garbage. Like,
I don't.
It got Batista over. That's the only thing it accomplished. It was just an excuse for Triple H to be the main guy on the show and have some reason to justify it.
It's not even just that. It's just like, I just really want to be in the Horsemen.
Mm-hmm. He really wanted to be Ric Flair, is what he wanted. And then he had Ric Flair trying to make him be more credible as Ric Flair.
Right. And so, I get it.
It sucked so bad. It was just dog dick. Fuck that shit.
Pushing Randy Orton way too soon.
They gave him the world title just so he'd be younger than Brock Lesnar when he won the belt.
And it was like Randy Orton was on this. I mean, my God, I'll talk about this for years. It's like he's on this uphill climb and everything's looking really good. And it's looking like Randy Orton's going to be the man. And then they gave him the belt so fucking early. I don't know. Again, I'm speaking for myself because obviously Randy Orton's had a pretty storied career, but like it just killed him for me. It was too quick.
I think Randy Orton has had a storied career, but it's kind of similar to Charlotte Flair in the sense that he was given a historic career before it even started, kind of. Yeah. And like he's a 14-time WWE champion, but how many of those reigns do you even remember? Like how many of those reigns felt significant or special in any way?
Well, because the belt changed hands every month for a while.
Yeah, and I would say that him winning the title at that time actually set him back because people forget he's the baby face. So he wins the title. The next night, Evolution turns on him.
Right.
And then by WrestleMania, Triple H is the baby face and Orton is the heel because the crowd had turned on Orton.
Just doesn't make sense. Yeti Malone says Blade doesn't believe in evolution. You've got Blade mixed up with AJ Styles.
Contextually, that could be true. Yes. Evolution had one good match, and it was like 10 years later against the Shield because Shield's jobs literally depended on carrying them to a good match. It's so true. The two matches they had were really, really good. I will say that. The corporate ministry was horrible. Absolutely terrible.
Let's bring it back around to that.
It was me, Austin. It was me the whole time. I remember WWF, I felt at that time had been on such a roll. Like, such a roll. And when it was Vince that was the higher power.
Yeah.
I remember going like, that is dog shit. That was like just absolute horseshit. It was
a Black Scorpion move, kind of. Like
it was WWE's Black Scorpion move, which they proceeded to have like 7 or 8 more of those over the next 2-3 decades.
Wasn't it? I always hear the stories that it was supposed to be Christopher Daniels, and I think he's backed that up. And it does.
No, I think it was supposed to be him. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I also heard Don Callis was a guy that they thought could fit that
that'd
role.
have been fucking cool, dude.
Can you imagine Don Callis like at full strength, leading, like having a huge role in the Attitude Era? Like that would have been crazy.
Yeah,
But Blurry Line does bring up a great point. We're missing the worst one, and I think it's a contender for the worst of all time. The Authority.
Authority. Who's
Holy
the Authority?
shit. That's Hunter and Stephanie and the whole McMahon family.
Oh, they were called the Authority? I guess I forgot. I thought they were the corporation.
And, well, there was basically, they call it, the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, but there's the McMahon-Helmsley era, which hangs over WWE for like 15 years.
Yeah. The reason why people quit watching.
The Authority starts when Bryan Danielson beats John Cena at SummerSlam for the title. Hunter turns on Danielson, and Orton cashes in the Money in the Bank on Danielson immediately.
Yeah, I was kind of in and out of some of that. I don't know a lot,
that's
why I don't know that.
And then Randy, he's the world champion, but he looks totally feckless. Like, he cannot hold this title on his own. Like, he can't beat Daniel Bryan. They wrestle at 3 consecutive pay-per-views, I think. And
yeah, I don't know any of this stuff.
Danielson wins once, and then they take the belt away from him on Raw. One of the matches ends, a pay-per-view ended in a no contest main event. Because Big Show shows up and knocks everybody out.
And it's only because there wasn't competition that this company was allowed to keep going.
And then the Authority continues into Roman's push, which is what they were trying to get to the whole time. And
this is all like kind of vague. It's like
Hunter enters so Roman gets forced to defend the WWE World title in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, and that's when Triple H won it.
And he has to enter at number 1.
Right.
And Triple H enters at number 30.
Right.
And throws Roman out at 28, and then throws Ambrose out at 29. Yeah. Because just for a minute, it looked like Dean Ambrose might win, and the crowd wanted it so bad.
Well, yeah.
And then Hunter defends the world title against Roman at 32 in Dallas at the Jerry World.
Right.
In front of, what they're saying is 90 some odd thousand people, which it wasn't the real number. And the crowd is cheering for Triple H because they don't want Roman that much. They're cheering for Triple H. It's the only time he's ever been cheered organically in his life.
Yeah.
J&J Security, Seth Rollins as the champion was the champion for the Authority. It's so bad.
Yeah, I kind of remember that stuff happening, but
see, you have good trauma response. You have blocked it out.
Yeah.
You just blocked it out.
A lot of weed too.
Yeah, there you go. The weed, and see, that's right around where I stopped smoking weed. And I think you can tell because I remember way too much.
Sorry, I'm glad you got clean and sober, but
I could have picked a better time. That's for sure.
Yeah, it must have been really extra challenging during that time period.
Yes, and then the Authority, quote unquote, ends at the end of 2018. The McMahons all show up on TV, and it's Triple H and Stephanie and Vince and Shane. And they're like, look, we know the show hasn't been any good.
Yeah.
And we know you fans deserve better. You are the Authority now. And then everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? And a week later, they announce All Elite Wrestling.
Right.
A week later. So they knew that was coming. And they're like, we know we suck. We're terrible. We suck. Oh my God. And it's so funny because for years after this, if you got into an argument with somebody online, they'd be like, oh, Vince is like a real boss, like whatever. It's like he was shitting his pants in public the entire time about the idea of competition.
Oh shit, somebody's going to show him what real wrestling is. Oh
yeah,
no.
Yeah. So, the Authority, yes, we were the Authority. But what was funny was,
who brought that up? Was it Joe?
Blurry Line, yes.
Fuck you for making me remember that.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not right.
What the, Blurry has more. What the fuck was the name of Jinder's faction with the Bollywood boys and Kali? I don't even remember. Real Americans with Dutch Mantel, Jack Swagger, Claudio, and Alberto. I have them on here, actually. The League of Nations with Del Rio, Rusev, Sheamus. They were all against Roman. This was the feud before
Right.
the Royal Rumble
League
thing.
of Nations.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Also,
just
the
call
split
the
off the
bad
League of
guy for it,
Nations.
you
Yes.
know?
And the We the People thing, which
Yeah.
became babyface them at some point, which was actually based around the Tea Party anti-immigrant thing.
Yeah, though. Like,
Oh my God.
don't spit on us and shit.
Oh my God. So
It's horrible.
bad. It's horrible. So I had the League of Nations in here. The only other one that I didn't mention in worst was the WCW ECW Alliance.
Oh,
The fake NWO that had no stars, that they actually had to have Steve Austin come over and lead because they were going nowhere because they refused to actually sign. Yes, the Glenn Beck faction, as Blair Line points out. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
My God. You know, it really does show how much social media has changed wrestling, because you would never do a We the People thing now, or a Real Americans thing now. But at the time, that was heat, right? And I just read Terry Funk's autobiography. He was talking about the utility of race angles and how they can be great.
That was the thought process.
But that was how people thought back then. And his whole thing was, it wouldn't work now. And this was 2005, mind you. So he's saying it wouldn't work now. You don't need to do it now because racism isn't a problem anymore. But yeah. But he was saying the whole point of a race angle is so that the white guy gets his ass kicked at the end. And, you know, you kind of like use that to normalize, you know, black people being
the person
equal
of
to
color
white people.
is the face, the downtrodden is the face, and the heel, the evil rich white guy, gets their comeuppance. Just like that time that Triple H feuded with Booker T. Oh, wait. Anyway. Oh, you froze again, Blade. Did he freeze on everybody else's end, or did it just freeze on my end? Dead air. Nope. I don't know what happened, but maybe you guys are only listening to me at this point. Okay, well, you should leave some more comments, because I'm kind of running out of things to say, and been jittery for a minute, and then it froze. Wow, now I'm full screen. Now it's just my show. Finally, I've gotten control. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been horrible. This man has kept me chained up in his basement for months. Blade is a horrible person. You've got to get me off of this podcast. I hope he's watching it right now. Anyway, that was a joke. I don't really have anything else to say about factions, so if you guys want to put some more stuff in the comments, I can keep talking. Otherwise, maybe I'll just go. I'm not really sure. Let me text him and see what's going on. Last time he did this to me, I had to sing that Ninja Turtles song. I don't know. I guess that wraps up this episode of Pro Wrestling Forever. Oh yeah, everybody's just talking about We the People in the comments. It was a fucking shitty racist gimmick. Yeah, absolutely. Antoine brings up a really good comment here. I missed this beautiful conversation. All the factions are seeming to be led by a white person. Why is it not the other way around? They don't want to take orders from a black person. Well, I think Swerve's going to have his own faction pretty soon. He did kind of have the embassy thing for a little while that I kind of remember, but not real well. And I don't think they really ever amounted to much. But it looks like he's putting something together. So we'll see where that goes. But that's a really good point. That's kind of the history of wrestling, unfortunately, is there's a lot of fucking racism in wrestling. There still is. Anyway, I don't think Blade's coming back, so I think this is the end of the show. So I'm going to blame his internet, not mine. Skewered Universe says, as a white man, I'd follow the orders of a black leader. Well, yeah, but that's because you're a good man, Skewered Universe. You're just a normal person. Oh, let's see. I think I got a call. My entire system crashed. Blade's entire system crashed. Well, folks, I guess that's the end of this episode of Pro Wrestling Forever. Luckily, it's not me. Usually I'm the one with the bad internet. Thanks for showing up on a Tuesday. Normally we do this on Monday. This is only our second episode, so it's kind of buggy. Anyway, yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. And I think we'll be back next Monday. And I'm not sure, we might be doing a movie review. We might be reviewing some old wrestling. As usual, hit the like button, follow us on social media. You saw our social medias. It's just Pro Wrestling Forever. Sometimes it's Pro Wrestling Forever, whatever you're on, Blue Sky or Threads or whatever. I don't think anybody's on Blue Sky. Come back next Monday at the same time. And if you have suggestions, leave them in the comments. If you have things you want us to talk about, things you want us to cover, if you have wrestling shows you want us to watch, because we will probably do a few retro reviews here and there. Throw us out some suggestions. You can hit us up on social media and give us ideas. And I think that's all I got. And I don't have, if you have a suggestion for a good catchphrase that I can end the show with, give me that. Bleary Line says, Blade's PC isn't on. You'll have nowhere to go. Yeah, it's true, because I don't know how to do this. Oh, shit, he's back. I just did a whole outro. We're done. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, my God, this is great. We can't hear him. Yeah, wow, you fucked everything up. You've ruined Thanksgiving, Jim Morrison. I like the open-ended format. Thank you. I like the open-ended ending as well, where I just kind of fade out like a song.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, but now your picture froze.
That's actually great. That's awesome.
Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Sweet.
That's great. That's great. Hey guys. So yeah, I had a power outage. Like I blew a fuse or something. I had to go flip a breaker. My lights went out. My computer shut off. Everything shut off.
It's my mustache, isn't it? It's too fucking powerful.
It's the sex magic of your mustache. It is.
Bled
it
through.
Is. Oh, look at this. Look at this garbage. We can't hear Blade, the perfect pot. What? Well, you know what? You'd never hear it because it wouldn't be mixed.
Yeah.
Or posted.
He literally does all of the work. I show up and I don't even do research.
This son of a bitch doesn't. He was like, yeah, well, I have some.
This episode was my idea.
The episode was your idea. And then we get together yesterday and I'm like, so what are we going to do? And you're like, I have an intro. I'm going to define what a faction is. And then we'll just talk.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I had 6 plot points that we were going to talk about. But, and we did talk about them. But then I also had an intro that I was going to say that I totally just forgot to say. I do
like
Antoine's farewell, though. Professional wrestling in all forms, for all time, for all people. That does mean forever. I do kind of like that.
Fantastic.
That might be the outro. So, do you have anything else to talk about?
No.
Cool. Well, until next time, I'm Professor Degree. This is iBlade Daily. And this is Pro Wrestling Forever. Pro wrestling in all forms, for all people, for all time.
Forever.
All
right, fuckaroos. Degree, stay here.
I will.
Everybody else, get the fuck out. Bye. Love you.
Thanks for coming.
Seriously, you guys are great.
Mm-hmm.